Hey friends, David York here at the York Way. Today I'm out here in the shop kicking off the first of several new video series that we're going to be dropping in the coming weeks. And this particular video series is one in which we're going to grab a camera and go around the various customer bikes that we're servicing and show you what we're doing at the various service intervals. So this is going to help us build a video library of what the various models of Indian motorcycles need done as far as service work at the various mileage intervals that those bikes are. And our goal is to inform and educate you, our customer, about the service work that should be done at just about any service interval for the various models of Indian motorcycle. There's still a lot of folks that think service work is really just an oil change and changing air filter every now and then and inspect a couple of things. The reality is far different from that. There is a long list of things that should be inspected and adjusted and lubricated at just about every service interval. And that's our approach. We want to do very thorough service work so we can hand a bike back to you, our customer, so you can go anywhere you want to go, anytime you want to go there, and have the confidence you're going to get back home safely because we've taken the time to thoroughly service that Indian motorcycle. We're going to kick off this series with this beautiful blue 2018 Indian Roadmaster Elite behind me here. This bike's got 95,000 miles on it, and we just finished the service. We did a road test, and this bike rides and runs great, and it's a testament to how a bike should run and ride when it's been thoroughly serviced and maintained the way that it's supposed to be. So this bike doesn't feel like a high mileage bike that's worn out and ragged out 95,000 miles. This bike rides and runs good. So I'm going to grab the camera and we're going to head over to the bike and go around it and talk to you about what we did at the 95,000 mile service interval. All right, 2018 Indian Roadmaster Elite, 95,000 miles on it. Now I'm going to try to go through this pretty quick. There's so much that we do during a service that I'm not going to go in depth on any of the steps. We're going to be doing other videos that go in depth on all the steps that we're going to cover right now. So we're just going to move through this pretty quickly. So when a bike gets dropped off and we throw a leg over it to get it up on the lift, the inspection starts then. We're feeling for how the controls feel. Are they moving and operating smoothly? We're looking at, are the lights and everything functioning? Shifter, clutch lever, all those controls moving and functioning like they're supposed to. Brakes, the steering, does the steering feel okay? There's a lot of things that we can glean just in the short amount of time it takes to pull this thing up on the lift, and that's, I know it looks like we're just throwing a leg over and pulling it up, but that's when the inspection starts. So as soon as it gets up on the lift, first thing I like to do is drop the oil, because you need to drop the oil while the engine is warm. And so I like to get the drain plugs out, get the oil filter off, get the oil draining, and I like to let it drain for as long as I possibly can, preferably until there's no more oil coming out. I just like to get all the old oil out as much as I can. And this customer's got a K&N filter in here, so we pull that every time and clean and recharge that filter for him. We pulled spark plugs. We installed these spark plugs, so I know the gap was right, but we still pull them, check the gap. You want to read the plugs, make sure the plugs are reading well, and make sure they're reading even front and rear. We also did a compression test while the plugs were out this time. We like to get a jack under the rear, get the rear end up, get a feel for the wheel bearings, get a feel for swing arm bearings. The belt needs to be checked, belt tension, belt alignment needs to be checked. Air up the rear tire, check the tire pressure while it's up in the air. By the way, this is original belt, 95,000 miles on this belt. We do have a replacement belt for this customer. We're going to be replacing it when he gets a new tire on it here pretty soon. And we like to do that. We like to combo up. We like to work with the customer and combo up work like that, so that it just provides a little extra value to the customer, because pulling the rear wheel while we're changing a tire saves him labor on changing the belt. So after we're done with all that in the back, I like to go ahead and check the brake fluid while I've still got the backup. So if I have to change the brake fluid, I've still got the backup. I can get to the bleeder pretty easily. So front and rear brake fluid reservoir covers are coming off, we're going to stick our tester in there and test the moisture. It's the only true way that you can find out if your brake fluid needs to be changed, is measuring the moisture content. This one did get new brake fluid, front and rear. We pulled the brake caliper covers off and checked the brake pads on the front. They're good. The front tire was not good. It was down to the wear bars and was not wearing evenly, so we did get that changed out. All the lighting gets checked. Headlights, running lights, tail lights, blinkers, everything gets checked. Make sure all that's working. Horn. Pull the seat, test the battery. We put a tester on the battery and we print out the test and give it to the customer so they know the state of health of that battery. Then we're going to go to the controls, pulling the controls, cleaning and lubricating controls. So one of the ones that I like to start with is the controls for the shifter. The shifter should move smoothly. If it doesn't move smoothly, you need to pull the floorboard, clean and lubricate the pivot right there. While we're at it, we pull the gear shift linkage here, clean and lubricate it. We pull the kickstand, clean and lubricate the kickstand mount. Again, we pull it off. We're not just shooting oil up in there. We clean it. We pull the kickstand off, clean, grease everything. So your kickstand should do this. If it's not doing that, this is a 95,000 mile bike. I've seen bikes with 5,000 miles with a kickstand that won't do that. It should come up and hit that bumper. If you're having a mule kick your kickstand closed, it needs to be cleaned and lubricated. This shaft gets cleaned and sprayed with oil for your gear shift sensor here, because they get really gummy from road grime. We clean and we're going to pull off the control cable end for the clutch. It's going to get pulled out of this arm. All of that's going to get cleaned and greased, and it gives us an opportunity to look at that control cable down there, make sure that it's good. And then same up here at the clutch lever. We're going to pull the clutch lever. We're going to pull the pin, clean and lubricate all of this stuff. We're going to pull that cable out as far as we can. We're going to take a look at that, make sure it's healthy, and clean and lubricate all of that before we put it back together. Over here at the brakes, same thing. We're going to pull the brake lever off, pull the pin out, clean and lubricate all of this, new grease. Again, we're not spraying oil anywhere. You're not spraying a white lithium grease or anything like that. We're spraying, or we are cleaning and then lubricating with new grease. And then your brake pivot down here, same thing as the shifter, has a pivot that you need to pull the floorboard, pull the lever off, or pull the brake lever off, and then clean and grease that pivot down there, and it just gives it such a nice smooth movement to it. That's down there by the road. It gets, that grease dries out, it gets road grime up in there, and it just gets grimy, doesn't function as well as it should. Now, while we had the back end up and spun the rear wheel, checking belt alignment and all that stuff, we found out that there was a lot of brake drag from the rear brakes. So it indicated that there was something going on with the rear brakes. We ended up putting new brake pads on this. And anytime we put pads on, we do not want to just push those pistons in and put new pads in. You are potentially causing damage to the seals in the brake calipers when you do that. So we clean the pistons in the calipers. We clean those before we push them in, and then we pull the rear slide and clean and re-grease the slide and the pistons. And let's see, what else do we do to this bike? He's gonna end up needing a cush drive sprocket when we put the new belt on it. We're probably gonna replace swing arm bearings when we change the belt. I mean, you're right there at it. This is the kind of, again, you want to combo up this work and provide as much value as you can to your customer with labor that overlaps. So they only have to pay the labor charge once. And then when we did a road test on it, the rear TPMS sensor did not come on. So we'll probably put we're recommending a rear TPMS sensor the next time they come in, which, by the way, we can install those and we can sell them to you a lot cheaper than the Indian OEM ones, even though that's what we're selling. So that kind of wraps up what we're doing with this bike. Like I said, we're gonna keep doing this with various other bikes that come through, so you get a feel for what we're doing at each service and get an idea. It can help you plan for what's coming up at your next service interval. Now remember, if you want your Indian serviced the way it was meant to be, you got to bring it to the York way.